I'm Brock Jameson, and I'm accompanied by my co host, Nick Poland. Welcome to the More Than a Game podcast. It's our mission to demonstrate how football is more than a game. Beyond the X's and O's, we plan to discuss how the game of football has an effect on our everyday lives. Nick and I have built a friendship with our common love for football, and we want to share our ideas with the rest of the multimedia universe. All right, the best weekend of football is upon us. Wild card weekend.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I just noticed it. When did they stop calling it Super Wildcard Weekend? 'Cause I know that's what they've been calling it since
No,
they
it is.
added.
It's called Super Wild. I just call it Wild Card Weekend. Sorry,
But
but yeah,
I've noticed they haven't called it Super Wildcard Weekend once so far.
I've seen it. I've
You
seen
have?
it in a few places. Yeah, I can't
Hmm.
remember where I've seen it, but I've seen it written as Super Wild Card Weekend.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it used to be the case that Divisional Weekend was the best because you had four games, two on Saturday, two on Sunday. But now this Wild Card Weekend has taken over as the best
I
one of the NFL playoffs.
might maybe this year, I don't know. It's so my reasoning is divisional weekend, you have the teams that belong there, the contenders, and it's like with wild card weekend, there's always a couple teams that they really they prove they're, not really all that. They just get destroyed in the first round, and that's how wild card weekend's always been for me. That but hey, it's more football, there is more games. I guess you can say that. But I've
Yeah,
always looked at
I
yeah.
I like the fact that it's got Saturday two games, Sunday three, and then Monday night game. So they've spread it over. You've got 3 days to anticipate it, and um, I think it'd be cool if they did Saturday three, Sunday three. But yeah, I mean they've got the Monday night football. So the last Monday night football broadcast is for that wild card game. Um,
Mhm.
So yeah, I like how they've got it just spread out to where you can every day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you can look forward to football. So that's what I like most about it. Sometimes it works out. It works out well when Martin Luther King Day is Monday. Then you've got 3 days off, and you've got 3 days to watch football. This year, while Martin Luther King Day is not on Wild Card Monday, but in years past it has been. And that's when it's real nice because you got a 3 day weekend and you got football on every single one of those days. And now that they've brought in the college football playoff, you got 5 straight days. You got Thursday and Friday for the college football playoff semifinals, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for NFL. So it is 5 straight days with football.
Good points, good points. Who doesn't love more football? Yeah,
Yeah.
can't complain. Can't complain too much about that.
So for today's podcast, we've only really got 3 segments, but they're going to take up the entire episode. It's the most important stuff to talk about. We're going to break down the CFP and why there's serious disadvantages to those top four seeds. So, I mean, CFP disadvantages, breaking down the semifinal games. Then we're going to go into NFL head coach firings. And after that, we're going to get to the most important part, which is that NFL wildcard preview. We're going to give our predictions for each one of those games. And then finally, we've got one last more than a game moment. But like I said, that'll bring us up to an hour easily on this podcast. So without further ado, we're going to kick it off, and we're going to share the college football playoff and what happened those last four games. It's no surprise. Um, on New Year's Eve, Miami defeated Ohio State 24-14. Ohio State was incredibly stale. I think it was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter with a pick six. So they obviously just weren't ready to play. I wonder why. And and then New Year's Day we had Oregon really destroy Texas Tech. I think it was 23-0. And then Indiana destroyed Alabama. The one anomaly, the one team with the bye week who performed well. I can't remember if it was 31 to 3 or 38 to 3. I think it was 38 to
38.
3.
38, yeah.
And then Ole Miss, Georgia. My one prediction that I got correct, I think I got Indiana. I stuck with Indiana. I couldn't say no to them. But I went on the dark horse side. I picked Ole Miss. We couldn't upload the podcast because the audio, but I picked Ole Miss to win that game. Uh, and I picked 31-24, but they won 37 to 34. And like I said, I think Georgia would have honestly won the national championship had they just won that game. But 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 wow, the conference champion gets stuck with a team that they beat by 8 points and had to come back from a 14-point deficit. Like what a great quarterfinal matchup for that team, right? I mean, what a reward to be a conference champion. You know, what a great reward.
Oh yeah, it's the best. I mean,
So
gosh, it really helps you out.
it's like yeah. So hey Georgia, you won the SEC championship, arguably the hardest conference in football. What's your reward? You get to sit for 3 weeks without playing anyone. Then you get to go to a neutral site to play a team that you barely beat. You beat by one score, and that you had to come back from a 14-point deficit to beat this team. That's your reward. That's your reward for winning the SEC championship.
It's unbelievable.
So, it brings up the point. Conference champions are at a disadvantage. Okay? And I've brought this up in my article that I'm working on, Nick, but the conference champions, the conference championship game is a 13th game, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
But what people don't understand is that they get to, by that playing that 13th game and winning your conference, you get to go to the quarterfinal round. But what they don't understand is that those teams that are going to meet them in the CFP quarterfinal, they're playing a 13th game as well. Okay? They're playing that 13th game is the college football playoff first round. Okay? And their 13th game has a better spacing between games 12 and this 14th game that is the quarterfinal. Okay? There's better spacing. Okay? The 13th game for the conference champions, it came immediately after the 12th. And then you got 3 weeks rest. But for those teams who didn't make the conference championship and are still making it to the quarterfinal round, their 13th game came a week and a half after playing that 12th game. So you get a healthy 1 week bye, and then you get another healthy 1 week bye, two nice 1 week byes. Okay? It's better spacing for those teams. Okay? Why is Ole Miss sitting pretty in the college football playoff? Why is Miami sitting pretty? Why is Oregon sitting pretty? It's because they didn't have to play a 13th game. They got that automatic bid. They got an at-large bid. They got selected just like everyone else without having to play that 13th game. Had the chance to rest for their quarterfinal game where they were playing an inferior opponent, not Miami, but Ole Miss and Oregon. They were playing an inferior opponent, had the chance to welcome them to their home field, dominate them, and build all of that confidence before heading into that college football playoff, before heading into that quarterfinal matchup. I mean, like showing up to showing up to the Sugar Bowl on the night of New Year's Day, would you rather be Georgia or Ole Miss? Okay? Would you rather be Ole Miss where you are still pretty fresh after dominating Tulane and resting leading up to that Tulane game? You basically got a bye week by not playing in the conference championship. There's your bye. Then you go play Tulane, you dominate them, beat the rails off of them for the second time this season. And then what you do is you go into this neutral site game against a Georgia team who's really stale, has been resting for 3 weeks, and is probably going to get off to a slow start. Okay? You can either be Ole Miss or you can be Georgia. I won my conference championship. I've been sitting like a sitting duck for 3 weeks. And the coaches, I mean, they're not doing full contact practices, okay? They're doing soft practices. It's late in the season. And I'm sitting here, Georgia, and I'm thinking, man, I've got to play Ole Miss. I barely beat them the first time. I really didn't want to face them again. Now I have to play them again. And this time it's for all the marbles. They're on fire. They've played more recently than us. And now we've got to go in there and try and play them in a neutral site. I mean, if anything, give these conference champions, give them a home game for the first game. I mean, if anything, give them a home game so they can at least enjoy that. I mean, I know the 3-week bye, but like, two teams going into a neutral site, they should approach the game the same way. And these two teams are not approaching the game the same way heading to a neutral site. And that's why it's a You could say the same thing for Oregon, Texas Tech. You could say the same thing for Miami, Ohio State. Ohio State has a different narrative. Here's what happened to Ohio State. You originally had two really hard teams on the schedule. They were hard in the preseason rankings. You faced the number 1 team, Texas, and you had number 2 Penn State on your schedule. Those are supposed to be your two very hard opponents. And those two teams ended up not being as strong of opponents as they expected. I know they played Texas week 1, and you can make a strong case for why Texas deserved to be in it. But all I'm saying, from a resume standpoint, those two opponents they were not as hard as Ohio State expected. The rest of their
They
schedule really wasn't anyone special.
they
Yes,
did beat Michigan though. They did beat Michigan. You gotta give them props for that one game.
I know. I'm just trying to say from a CFP resume, it's not really impressive to be the number 2 overall team. That's
That's
all I'm
fair.
trying to say. So you go play a 13th game against Indiana where you're both number 1 and number 2. And then at the end of that game, you're still number 1 and number 2. You're on opposite sides of the bracket. What was the point of playing that game? That game served no purpose whatsoever if both teams are still on opposite sides of the bracket at 1 and 2, because there's no difference in 1 and 2 from a seeding standpoint. You're still going to meet the 1 at the end. All right? There's no So, Ohio State spent the entire season 12 and 0 playing playing opponents that really I mean opponents that didn't give them the strength of schedule they expected. And I mean, they're not really blowing these teams out of the water besides Michigan. And they weren't challenged the entire season up until Indiana. And then they lost to Indiana. The one time they were challenged, but what happened to them? Defending national champs, 12 and 0 season. Oh, you're just the number 2 seed. There's no consequence for your actions. There should have been a consequence for losing to Indiana. That consequence should have been not receiving a top 4 seed in a bye. That should have been their consequence. That would have given them the slap on the wrist. They would have woken up. They would have realized, hey, what we're doing right now is not enough. But there was no consequence for their actions, so they never received that initial wake-up call that what we're doing is not enough. So you show up against Miami, and you show up with all the confidence in the world, but it's false confidence. You've got this confidence that you finished the season 12 and 0, you just lost the championship, but really, like, you haven't been tested. And finally, one team that was really out for blood. I mean, Miami did not forget that 2002 national championship game. And you face a team that really had your number and was out to get you, and you lost. And that's the unfortunate standpoint that Ohio State was in. They should not have received one of those top 4 seeds. I'm not saying they're a horrible team, but I'm just saying there was never a consequence for their actions. And I mean that's why they lost that game. And I also understand why they were number 2. It's because who else were you going to give that top 4? I mean, there was no other team deserving. Heck, give it to Ole Miss. um, but that's why they were placed there. And I'm just saying it's unfortunate for them because they were justified in receiving a top 4 bye. But in reality, like I said, I mean, they just didn't deserve it, but they were the team that got to receive it. So they got that bye. But that's the reason why they lost that game. I mean, it was just a lot of things throughout the season that led up to them just not being battle tested, and they never had to come from behind, never. And So the moment they got that 14 to nothing, I mean, they're not meant to play from behind. They've got an outstanding defense. And I mean, the moment they got that 14-point deficit, I mean, they'd never really been in a place like that before. So they just panicked and didn't know how to resolve it and struggled.
Yeah, those are great points. Shoot, you nailed it from top to bottom. It's crazy though because so it's like they didn't get, they lost that game. They still got the bye. Yet we're making the case that the bye actually hurts you. So it's like they got the bye and they technically,
They got the disadvantage from
they got
losing.
the
It's like
disadvantage from the advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. I mean, I
Yeah.
get they were defending national champions 12-0 in the regular
Uh-huh.
season, but man, that is the most unimpressive 12-0 season I think ever. Go 12-0, lose your conference championship, lose in the first round of the college football playoff. It's like, man, what do you get for going 12-0? Absolutely nothing.
Nope.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely
Um,
got to be up there.
we've explained Georgia, we've explained Ohio State. Indiana, they're the one anomaly. I don't know what Signetti's doing to get those boys ready, but they showed up ready to play. I personally think Alabama, like, I just don't think they were as good. They beat Oklahoma, so I mean, but like, man, they got dominated by Georgia, dominated by Indiana. I'd like to see how Oklahoma played against Indiana. If Alabama was like that,
Yeah.
I'd like to see how Oklahoma matched up against them.
Oh, same for sure.
Either way, Indiana is the one team. There's 8 teams that have received byes over the course of these 2 years. Indiana is the one team who has won, and they also won the conference championship. Okay, but I'm trying to make it known, guys. The conference championship is a disadvantage, and back in the bowl era when you went to the BCS, conference champions were selected to play certain bowls. Big 10 champion got to play the Rose Bowl. Pac-12 champion got to play the Rose Bowl. SEC champion usually played in the national championship. Another SEC team got to play in the Sugar Bowl. Okay, so the conference championships really determine who played in each bowl. They don't do that anymore. Okay, so I understand, like, what's the point of giving a conference champion and creating that 13th game to determine one? What is the point if it gives you the at-large bid that gives you the disadvantage that I've said? Okay, what's the point? Do you want to be a conference champion? No, I don't want to. If teams are still getting at-large bids without being the conference champion, what's the point of being the conference champion? If there's no point, you have to remove that conference championship game. I'm sorry, but like, we're so used to seeing conference championship games after the regular season, but if all they're doing is providing a disadvantage for the teams winning them, and here's the thing, there's no disadvantage. There's no disadvantage to not playing in the conference championship, okay? Like, I'm trying to show how Oregon didn't play in it, Miami didn't play in it, Ole Miss didn't play in it. 3 teams that didn't play in their conference championship are in the semis. How many teams played in their conference championship are not in it? Georgia, Ohio State played in the championship. I know they lost. They played in that game. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas Tech. Um, I think that's it. That's 3 teams who played in the conference championship who are not. So there's obviously no advantage to winning this conference championship game. Like, literally
Nope.
none. Indiana is the anomaly. If Alabama had beaten Indiana, I mean, there'd be a very serious case for why this is a disadvantage. But, Kurt Signetti, I'm sure, I don't know what he's doing. I'm sure he's making those practices really intense. And I mean, they're probably doing some live practices in there. Like, you got to find some way to keep them ready for 3 weeks. I mean, if I were the head coach of one of these teams with the bye, I would make the practices a living hell so that I'm excited to play a game in 3 weeks. I mean, that's what I would do. That's the psychology you got to put on these 20-year-olds, right? You
Yeah.
have to make you have to make these 2 or 3 weeks like a training camp kind of hell
Yeah,
so that they're ready to play on New Year's Day. Because if not, they're not going to be ready to play.
yeah. That's the way to do it. I mean, yeah, you gotta do something to just keep yourself in shape, motivated, because staying at home, basically going on vacation, is not the way to go. And with 3 weeks off, I mean, none of these teams are practicing all 3 weeks. I
No,
mean,
Christmas.
nobody.
Throw Christmas in there, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, people got to travel for the holidays, right? So, I
yeah,
mean, they're coming back the day after Christmas. It's just like that week of Christmas, very little is getting done. I mean, you're gonna have some walkthroughs, and then you show up like the week after Christmas to practice, but like that game's on a Thursday, so they're
yep.
practicing on Saturdays and Sundays. It's just, uh, sorry, excuse me,
No, you're
but it's
good.
it's just I'm just trying to show why it's a disadvantage. I'm not praying for the downfall of the teams that got the bye. I'm just showing like it's a disadvantage for them. They're getting screwed over by this college football playoff format. It shouldn't take a month for this to play out. Those teams who play those first round games, they should be playing the week of the Army Navy game. That week where the Heisman Trophy's presented. I mean, move the Heisman Trophy to like a Friday night. I don't know. Okay, but like maybe, heck, do the Heisman Trophy when we're waiting for all these games to happen in the semifinals and championship. Okay, like do the Heisman Trophy then. Okay, but and I know if the Army Navy game has implications on the playoff, then we can cross that bridge if we ever get to it. But you got to play those first round games the week of the Army Navy game. That second week in December. That way, the quarterfinals can be done the weekend before Christmas. That way, those teams with the bye are ready for it. Okay? Or make it 16 games so that they have to play that quarterfinal game too. Give them some very inferior opponents that they can dominate. Keep their swagger up so they're ready to play that quarterfinal round. Something's got to change because right now it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, I like that idea of the 16th game. I think that's the route that makes the most sense in my opinion. 'Cause I mean
16
that,
teams.
yeah, or
16
16
teams.
teams. That's what I meant. But it's like because it's like the Army Navy game. I don't know. You can't really. It's just tradition. That game stands alone. I know something has to change, but uh, I don't think that's the route to go.
Heck, play Army Navy during the conference championship weekend.
Hey, there you go. That's a good idea. I'm actually all in for that.
I
I
mean,
doubt they
it's
do
the
it though.
12th it's the 12th game for each of these teams.
Hmm.
So the thing is, if it's the 12th game, why don't you just play it the 12th week? I understand it gets the spotlight, and I mean, it's for it's America's game. I get it. Maybe put it on the Friday of that week so it still gets that spotlight. I'm just putting ideas out there. Put it on
Yeah.
Black Friday. Put it on Black Friday so that it
Yep.
still gets the spotlight it deserves. I'm just trying to create ways because I mean something has to change.
Yep.
Um, we got the first playoff game. It's not Tostitos. I can't remember. I don't know, but for the Fiesta Bowl, I can't remember who the new sponsor is. But the Fiesta Bowl is coming out to State Farm Stadium. It's where it's always played. So, Ole Miss is playing Miami. That game is on Thursday, January 8th.
It's going to be a very good game.
Uh, what is the name of that game? I know it's the Fiesta Bowl. Verbo.
Verbo.
Verbo. Verbo's the sponsor. Like it matters. The game is at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 Eastern. Miami is actually heavily favored over Ole Miss. I have no idea why. Um,
That's what,
but
I think I like Ole Miss in this game personally.
I like Ole Miss so much more. Trinidad Chambliss, that story. Do you know? Last year, Nick, he was playing Division II football.
I did not know that actually.
Yeah, he was playing for
Division
Ferris
two.
State. Ferris State. They played Pittsburgh State. You know the D2 powerhouse, Pittsburgh State.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Ferris State played Pittsburgh State, and I think Pittsburgh State they beat them. Um,
Wow.
Ferris State went on to win the championship of D2 that year. So he won the D2 championship 2024, enters the transfer portal, comes to Ole Miss. He's a backup, but the starting quarterback is injured. So he shows up in like the first or second game of the season, and he's led Ole Miss all this. He's led Ole Miss the entire way, and now he's obviously maybe going to be an NFL draft prospect. I would hope, but
Yeah.
I mean, I of all the quarterbacks that played, I mean, he had the most impressive. He was balling out. I mean, he there's one scrambling highlight where he's scrambling 15 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, does a shovel pass with his left hand, and they're able to complete a first down. He was clearly in a flow state for this entire game, and I mean, he's the most impressive quarterback. Um, Nick, you said you liked Ole Miss in this game.
Yeah, I do. I just think they're better as a team. I think they got the better quarterback, better offense. It's going to be so close. It's tough, but the fact that you say Miami's heavily favored shocks me. I think Ole Miss wins 27-24.
Yeah, the storyline would have been great to see, Carson Beck go up against Georgia, but Ole Miss had other plans.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna take Ole Miss as well. Um, I don't think the game will be very high scoring because I just don't think Miami can score on Ole Miss's defense. Um, I think Ole Miss is gonna win 26-17.
It's a good prediction.
Sorry, 27-17.
27-17. Okay.
26 would mean 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals, and college kickers can't make 4 field goals.
Nah. So,
Um,
okay. 3
yeah, give me
touchdowns, 2 field goals. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Miami will make it interesting. Oh, Ole Miss will run away with it, but Miami will make it interesting. So 27-17. Um, yep, next up we got, man, I really don't know what we got. I know it's Indiana, Oregon. I just can never remember the game. I think it's the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, I believe it's the
It's
Peach Bowl.
yeah, in Atlanta. That's the one that hasn't been played yet. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia. Yep, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia, Oregon against Indiana. I mean,
Indiana.
you want to think that Oregon's a better team since they've played Indiana, but like Indiana has done way too much for you to pick against them. Like there's
Yeah.
there's literally no reason to pick against Indiana. They've dominated the team they're playing right now. And I mean, the only case you can make is that that team is better. But are they better enough to where you could pick them to beat Indiana? No,
Nope.
I can't.
You can't.
Indiana's only a 4-point favorite, but
They're just too hot. They're that one team coming off that bye that won, and they dominated. They absolutely dominated, and I can't pick against Indiana right now. They haven't
and
shown
I have
me.
to say,
They haven't given me a reason why. Yeah.
the way they play, like, I mean, the way their offensive linemen block, I mean, they are just like rolling those defensive linemen down the field. They're not washing.
Oh
They're not
yeah, they're
moving. They're
physical.
not
They're
moving.
physical.
They're not moving the D linemen left or right. I mean, they are just like driving those guys down the field, pile driving them. I mean, the way their defense tackles and flies to the ball, I mean, and like the quality of players they have. I mean, they've got a lot of players from the transfer portal. A lot of players came over from James Madison when Signetti came over. So like they've just got a lot of players who are so hungry. Just some dogs. Some real dogs on that Indiana Hoosier roster is all I gotta say. I mean, I watched them
Uh-huh.
against Alabama for the first time. It's the first time I watched them like on a television on my couch for an entire game, and I was just like, man, no wonder this team is 13-0. I mean, they are the real deal. Um, I think Indiana beats them 24-10.
24-10. That's good prediction. I'm going with 30-17. I think Indiana scores a lot of points in this game. They're just too good. They are way too good. Very physical. I just I've picked against them so many times this year, and they keep telling me, nope, we're freaking legit. They're the best team in college,
Yeah.
without a doubt, without a doubt.
And I have to share just a little more than a game moment, but the most prominent Indiana offensive lineman, Pat Coogan, he transferred from Notre Dame's team last year. He was able to get a starting spot on Indiana's offensive line this year. I believe he's center, but they gave him the Rose Bowl MVP award. And the crazy thing about it is like they gave him the MVP award, and what I'm trying to say is like it's always a quarterback or a running back, right? But they gave it
Hmm.
to him. I know the committee didn't want him to have that award. I know the head coach stepped forward and said, "Give this to him right now."
Hmm.
I know Kurt Signetti said that, and the way the team cheered for him, it just shows that the team recognizes where credit should be given. I mean, they know the players that score the touchdowns that I mean, they know their profiles are on for the whole game, but the offensive linemen, I mean, like they don't get the credit in the game that the receivers and quarterbacks do. So they wanted the offensive line to have that one moment, and they chose one player to be the MVP. That was the best way to bring it forward. That's why they're 14 and 0. It's just for moments like that, how they celebrate that one player winning. So another reason why Indiana's 14 and 0, the culture they built, shows why football is more than a game. All right, but we got to move on to the head coach firings. Um, the Ravens, this is new, let go of John Harbaugh.
Had to be done, in my opinion. Top 10 coach in the NFL, solid. The Ravens are always a winning team, but it had to be done because outside of that 2012 season, what have the Ravens really done? In 2023, they were supposedly one of the best NFL teams of the decade, probably better than the 24 Eagles, some people would say, and they still couldn't get it done. You could say it's Lamar Jackson. You could say, oh, receivers are dropping footballs, so on. Kickers.
It's not Lamar's fault for the reason they've left every year. It
Yeah,
really isn't.
no.
Um, I mean, he could have played better in the championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, but like I think this year it's been about, Harbaugh not holding the team to a high enough standard, letting Lamar not practice a lot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you're not holding your players to healthy standards. That's why they're not performing. And yeah, I mean, it's got to start with who's at the head, and it's John Harbaugh. And he won that one Super Bowl in 2012, but hasn't even been back to the Super Bowl ever since. I think he's only been to the AFC Championship that one time against Kansas City in 2023.
Yep.
So, yep. I mean, I respect it. Could the dude have had one more season? Probably. And if you didn't make it that year, you're done to the playoffs. But yeah, there was just such high expectations for this Ravens team, and they did not perform to them at all.
Nope. Not at all. And it's not a diss on John Harbaugh 'cause he's still one of the best coaches. Like all 7 teams that need a head coach have already reached out to his agent about seeing what they could do to get him. Like people want John Harbaugh, but yeah, the Baltimore Ravens they needed a change.
Cardinals let go of Jonathan Gannon, which I mean, I don't know. It's one season, man. I mean, I guess 3-14 let him go, but I guess the Cardinals had higher expectations. I mean, one team's got to be terrible in the NFC West, right?
Yeah.
They can't they can't all just dominate the entire league.
Nope.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there's just no really talking about that. Like the dude went 3-14 with his team. I guess any time that's a reason to be fired. Um, Raiders let go of Pete Carroll. I'm actually a little surprised by this one. I mean, Pete Carroll has a lot of respect, obviously, as a football coach. He's won in a lot of locations. And I mean, you got to give the dude some time. It obviously takes time to build a program at USC. It took time to build a program at Seattle. It took 2 or 3 years to get that program. and they had Russell Wilson at quarterback. Like you got Geno Smith at quarterback, man. I mean, yeah, I don't see that one at all.
I do. I mean, Geno Smith when he was in Seattle, when he was Russell Wilson's replacement. People were calling him a good quarterback. He was playing good and he was winning games for a while there. And yeah, the Raiders, they're not the best organization. There's a lot of stuff they got to fix there, but they somehow got worse. They were the laughing stock of the NFL. They were just so bad. And you I agree with it just because this is one of the worst seasons in Raider history, which says a lot. Yeah, you can't justify 2 wins, 3 wins because of yeah, I mean, yeah, they lost to a practice squad Chiefs team that gave them that third win, but yeah, they're Pete Carroll
All right.
did it wasn't good coaching. I
Yeah,
stand
like
by
I
it.
said, give the dude another year. Um, Browns, Kevin Stefanski, I highly disagree with this one.
Same.
I mean, he made the playoffs 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Okay, the franchise has been abysmal for 20 years. The laughing stock of the NFL for the past 20 years, the Cleveland Browns. Okay, you you convince these people to show up and play and beat great teams. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Green Bay. They beat two teams in the playoffs. They beat Cincinnati. They got some quality wins. And like you had the sacking record with Miles Garrett, which we're going to bring up at the end of the podcast. Um, like I just don't get it. Like who's going to sign up for this position if the team averages 3 wins a year and you get this team to win five and you're fired for it?
Yeah, they were moving in the right direction too. Like since they started Shador Sanders and he kind of got his feet wet, they
They
really
won
weren't
three
even a
games.
yeah,
They
they
won
won
three
3 games.
games.
They were
I
heading in
think,
the right direction.
yeah, I can't disagree more.
Yeah.
Who's going to sign up for this job? You're literally going to sign up for a signing bonus if you know, hey, I'm going to get fired in 2 years from this job to coach a team who rarely ever wins more than 5 games in a season. It's just like, who's going to sign up for that position? Someone
Yep.
who needs a signing bonus. That's who's going to sign up for that position.
Mhm.
Falcons let go of Raheem Morris makes no sense. You had a three-way tie for the division championship, and had the tiebreaker gone a little bit differently, you would have been going to the playoffs.
Mhm.
Um, the team went in the right direction. I mean, they started winning once Kirk Cousins was at quarterback. Maybe Kirk Cousins is the answer, but yeah, makes no sense whatsoever.
No, I agree with you on that one as well. I
He had
just
been
don't
there.
get
He
it.
had been there for quite some time, so
He has. You can't give that
for like
argument.
6 seasons. So I mean, that's the
Yeah.
one reason why you can make the case to fire him.
Yeah.
Brian Dable, this is from November 10th, obviously. I agree with this one. I just don't think Brian Dable has what it takes to be a head coach. I have trauma from when he was the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs back in 2012, and they were
Yeah.
just so terrible, led to the number one pick. So I have that trauma of Brian Dable. So yeah,
And the fact that
I
people want
won't
him back.
disagree with firing. I won't disagree with firing him. That's all.
No, I won't either.
Sorry, Davo. I'm sure you know more about football than I will ever. You've forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. Let it be said. All right, Titans.
uh,
Brian Callahan. This one makes sense. Okay, there are 241 NFL coaches who have coached at least 20 games since the 1970 merger. Brian Callahan ranks 237th out of those 241 coaches with a .174 winning percentage.
yeah,
It's just one of those things where like you got to look at the black and white. I work in sales and it's like you got to look at the black and white and whether or not you're producing. And like if you're not producing, you just can't move forward. And I mean that's what was happening with Brian Callahan.
exactly.
Wow, we already went through all seven.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean Let's get into Super Wildcard Weekend. That first matchup on Saturday, it's the team that's least deserving. It's the Carolina Panthers. They will face the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. I don't know why they would start with this game. I honestly don't expect it to be close. I know last month the Panthers beat the Rams. They forced 3 turnovers on Matt Stafford. I just don't see that happening again. This Rams team is too good. They know it's single elimination. The big moments are here. The Rams are obviously the much better team. It's not even going to be close. 26-13. Rams.
Yeah, I mean the only thing you got going for you is like Carolina beat them previously, and the game is in Carolina, so
Hmm.
I think the Rams really it's going to be closer. It's a playoff game. The Rams, it's going to be closer. They've been struggling. They had that cupcake fall in their lap of getting the 5 seed, and they're like, oh my gosh. I mean, they're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, we dodged a bullet. Don't have to play Philly. We're playing Carolina. And since they have that excitement, I think they're going to come out a little stale. And I'm going to say Carolina will struggle to score touchdowns. So give me 24-19, LA Rams. All right, Nick, what's the next game on the schedule?
The next game on the schedule, a game I really don't understand why this of all games is going on Prime Video when it's probably the greatest rivalry in football. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. This is just such a good rivalry, and it's coming to the playoffs. Make it make sense why this is a Prime Video game. This should be Sunday Night Football, in my opinion. But
Yeah, Chargers Patriots should be Prime Video.
yeah, it really
Chargers
should.
Patriots should be. It's just because Drake May. That's why they got the Sunday Night Football. He's an MVP candidate. So
Yeah,
that's probably why they got Sunday Night Football over the Packers Bears, the Prime. And it's Prime. Not everyone has Prime. But heck,
that's fair.
they say not everyone has Prime, but like, man, I gotta say like 90% of America probably has Amazon Prime. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I'll say
back to the
75%.
game.
75%,
Yeah,
but yeah. Um,
yeah. But
I think
both teams,
Chicago just lost to Detroit, but I mean, Dan Campbell wanted one last victory. Um,
yeah,
Green Bay has lost their last 4 games of the season.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I feel like I this is just me being ridiculous, but Green Bay's lost their last 4 games, so everyone's gonna say they're gonna lose this one too. But they very easily could have beat Chicago 3 weeks ago. So and they beat them the first time. So Green Bay's got a little bit of confidence. I'm gonna have to pick Green Bay. You got to pick one of these upsets. I'm gonna have to pick Green Bay. Um, 21-17.
Wow. See, I mean, you say they could have beat Chicago the last game. Chicago could have beat the Packers in the first matchup, though. That's how close both these games were. And it really is home field. I Soldier Field in the playoffs. These fans are going to be wild. The last time the Bears hosted a playoff game, we all remember that field goal at the end. I mean, they're ready. The fans are going to be ready. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I just think Chicago's better right now. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears 30-27 field goal game. Yep.
Yeah, Jordan Love is gonna start, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, Malik Willis played good for them in that Baltimore game.
He did. He really did.
Look for Malik Willis to get a starting job, whether
He
it's for the
deserves it.
Raiders, maybe a backup for the Chiefs. But no, I mean some teams got to pick him up as a starter. He played
Hmm.
way too well in those 2 games. Um,
For sure.
next up, next up we got Sunday during the day.
Best game in my opinion.
Eagles Niners.
No, the Bills at Jags.
Oh, Bills Jags first, then Eagles Niners. All
Yeah.
right. Bills Jags. Yeah, who you got, Nick?
Gosh, it's so hard to pick. The Jaguars are so hot right now. They can't lose football games. They're the only team in the past 3 months to beat the Denver Broncos, and they're hosting. But the Bills, this is just their year. We've all been saying it. No Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Mahomes. This is their year. Josh Allen knows it. And gosh, I just got to pick the Bills here. I got to. I think they just have a little more experience in the playoffs, and yeah, it's going to be close, but I'm taking the Bills. A little more low scoring than some people might think. I'm going to go 24-20 Buffalo.
Yeah, I think I can't disagree. It's going to be a close game, but there's no
Hmm.
way Josh Allen loses this for the reasons you said. No Burrow,
Yeah.
Mahomes, no Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, dude. I mean, he's got way more playoff wins than any other quarterback. He's got probably more playoff wins than all the other AFC quarterbacks combined.
Yeah.
So, I know Drake May, or sorry, I know Trevor Lawrence has got one. Um, Bo Nix
Bo
doesn't
Nix,
have any.
0. Yep.
Drake May, zero.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers has got okay. I
Yeah.
forget because I
Yeah.
think of him as an NFC guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
no. So
Herbert,
sorry.
0. Herbert, 0. So, yeah.
And all those wild card teams. I mean, C.J. Stroud's. I think he's
1.
got one. He's
CJ
got
has
one.
1.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, yeah, Josh Allen is the most experienced quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, there's no way the Bills are losing this game, in my opinion. Give me Buffalo, 19-14.
Okay.
The next game we got is the Eagles Niners. This one I cannot. I am struggling so bad to pick this game. Um,
It's tough. It's so tough.
so San Francisco really screwed themselves by losing to Seattle, and part of me thinks that ever since they screwed themselves by losing to Seattle, I think they might just be like, ah, such a letdown. They're done. Philadelphia also screwed themselves. Nick Sirianni, you should have played. You should. You had a chance to earn that 2 seed and go up against an opponent like Green Bay. You should have played for that. Okay, you've got all the confidence in the world that either way you're going to host this first playoff game, and for that reason, you're just going to rest your guys. But Chicago lost to Detroit, which very easily could have happened. You knew Detroit was going to play that game. Okay, so you should have played. You should have played your starters in that last game against Washington. You should have beat them, okay? Because then you get the 2 seed. And if you were to face the 3 seed, I don't know who it is. If you were to face Chicago, you would want to face Chicago at your home field. Okay, you lost
Hmm.
to Chicago, so you want to play them at your home field. Nick Sirianni, that was a terrible coaching decision. Okay, you've got a lot of confidence as the defending Super Bowl champ, and my team's not in the playoffs, so I can't say too much. But my team, the Chiefs, my fan team. I guess it's not. I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
really have an NFL team, so I guess I can say, yeah, yeah, Nick Sirianni, that was a bad coaching decision. You should have played your guys. You should have won that game to give your team the 2 seed. You didn't know if Chicago was going to win or lose, but come on, you knew Detroit was going to show up and give them one heck of a game. So you should have played your guys and you would have been rewarded for it. But now you got to play San Francisco, one of the hottest teams in the NFC right now. Um, I think like fortune favors the bold, so I ultimately got to go with San Francisco. And I mean, Tony Dungy was saying this on Sunday Night Football, the final. It's like the decisions you make to end the season determine what team you are in the playoffs. And I just think Philadelphia's decision to do that is a bad decision, and they put themselves in a rough spot. And I think they're not going to be rewarded for it. I think San Francisco is going to show up, and um, I think like it's going to be an ugly game, and it's going to be low scoring.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to say San Francisco 17-13.
It's a tough one, but I don't know. The Eagles, the fact that they're hosting, they're gonna have whole roster playing. Like, they haven't been the greatest team this year, but gosh, the 49ers, they really screwed themselves there against Seattle. They scored 3 points. Like, they hardly showed up as a team, and it's almost like football's a game of momentum. And I'm not saying the Eagles exactly have me, but the 49ers don't feel good about themselves letting go of that one seed. They could have played all their games at Levi Stadium. They let go of that, and I just think the Eagles and the Link are better. And yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles 20 to 2017.
All right, next up, that Sunday night football game, we got New England Patriots, Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. And this is my upset of the week. No one's expecting it. Well, some people are talking about it, but the Patriots are favoring this game. They're a lot of people are calling the best team in the AFC. I think that they could be overlooking the Chargers here, and the Chargers. I've been waiting for him to be the same old Chargers, but like towards the end of the season, but they really haven't been. They they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Eagles, and but they've been a solid football team. And if they started Justin Herbert, they could have beat the Denver Broncos. They really could have. And Justin Herbert hasn't gotten that playoff win. I think that changes here on Sunday night. I expect the LA Chargers to go into Gillette Stadium and win 23-20.
Yeah, I can't help but disagree. Um, New England's in a good place from a mental standpoint. So think about it. Your ego boosts a lot when you're young, but you're a good team. But here's the thing. They were humbled by the fact that they didn't get that number one seed. All right. Had they got that number one seed, I think they would have been destroyed in the divisional round. This is a very young team who is excited to play playoff football. And they're playing playoff football in the wild card weekend in the best spot, the two seed. I mean, that's the best place you can be as a young team ready to play. Two seed, games at home. Mike Vrabel's going to have them ready to play. Um, yeah, no, I think New England has no issues whatsoever. Um, I'll say like I'll say 27-14 New England. Young team ready to
Oh
play
wow.
in the right. They keep that momentum going. It's all fresh for them. Like I said, they're excited for the playoffs. They're young. This is their first opportunity for playoff football. I don't know about the divisional round, but I think for this very first game, they'll be absolutely ready to play. 27, 27-14.
All right.
All right, and it's no surprise when we bring up the last segment, which is the more than a game moment. And we're going to honor a future Hall of Famer.
Ooh, you skipped Monday Night Football.
I did, because I'm so used to the season ending on Sunday. All right, so reboot. All right, we got the Monday Night Football game on ESPN. We got Troy Aikman and Joe Buck calling it. It's the Houston Texans against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Nix, I'll let you go first since you reminded us of this game, because we're going to say the exact same thing. So you go ahead.
Will we say the same thing? I don't know. Uh, Houston's the better team. They are, but gosh, this Steelers team with Aaron Rodgers, he played so good against the Ravens in that second half. I think they're just kind of moving in the right direction. I am going to take the Steelers, believe it or not, just because I think Aaron Rodgers will play better than CJ Stroud will against the Steelers defense. It won't be high scoring because the Texans defense is so good, but I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-14, believe it or not. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm big on the mental side of things in the storyline, right?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has been trying so hard to clinch the North for so long, and they screwed up against Cleveland, and they're sitting here for 2 weeks in suspense, just wondering, are we going to beat Baltimore? And that dramatic finish to that game, you I'm sure you saw on the sidelines, after Sunday Night Football, you know, just the deep sigh of relief they had the moment they won that game. Okay, like Cam Hayward was hugging Aaron Rodgers at midfield, they were getting emotional. Okay, that was a big relief. Okay, and it was almost like just like every year Pittsburgh does, we made the playoffs and that's it. Okay, they did that thing that they always do. Mike Tomlin's safe. We made the playoffs. We did it. Oh, deep sigh of relief. Okay. And with that being said, they're not hungry to win this next game. And since they're not hungry, I gotta go with this Houston Texans team. Has statistically one of the best defenses in the last 20 years. Okay. I mean, they're holding so many teams to 10 points or less. Pittsburgh doesn't get 10 points on this team. Um, I gotta go I mean DK Metcalf is coming back, but I mean don't DK Metcalf against Derek Stingley in this secondary of the Texans? No, sorry. Um, I'm gonna have to go Houston 17-6. They're not gonna score a lot of points because they won't have to. Yeah, Houston 17-6. Like I said, Pittsburgh is satisfied. Their belly is full. They won the North, and it was a big struggle for them to do it. A big struggle to win the North. They did it, at the very end of the season. That big emotional relief. Like I said, they're satisfied. They're not going to be ready to play this game. It's Aaron Rodgers going out on Monday Night Football. They've got the broadcast prepared for Aaron Rodgers' last game. You know it. So give me Houston 17-6.
All right.
All right, and now we go to our more than a game, where we're gonna pay tribute to a future Hall of Famer. It's no secret, Myles Garrett broke the single season record with 23 sacks. Michael Strahan, when asked on NFL on Fox what he thought about Myles Garrett breaking the record, he said he's got the record for 17 seasons. And Michael Strahan said, I've got the record for 16. Wink. That's what he did. That's what he did. I mean, you can play the recording. Michael Strahan said, "I've got the record for 16. He's got it for 17."
Yeah.
But I mean, to be on a 5-12 team and have that record, I mean, that just shows that you showed up to play every day, even though your team was terrible. And I think that's more of a testament. Um, Gosh, I don't know how he didn't get it against Pittsburgh. I don't know how. I mean, it would have been
Aaron
so nice.
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be the quarterback on the other side of that, so he played that whole game trying to avoid a sack rather than trying to go for the win. So that's why there were so many close calls, but he got it. He got it against none other than Joe Burrow, which I know makes both us real happy. I mean, gosh, that's awesome.
That
And he
is the
got
best
it.
part about it.
I didn't think he was going to get it either. He didn't get it till like the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. But yeah, he got his arm in there and
And
he took down.
and Burrow ducked.
Hmm.
Like Burrow, I mean, he went down because I don't know. I mean, part of me thinks Burrow was nice to give it to him. Another part of me thinks like, oh, you didn't want to get officially sacked, so you just ducked. But either way, when you duck like that, it counts as a sack.
Yep.
So I think Burrow in the heat of the moment knew like, oh, I'm gonna get sacked. He probably didn't want the highlight reel of him just getting rattled. So he probably knew he didn't want to have a highlight reel of getting rattled. So he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna duck.
Yeah.
Which is probably worse than getting rattled. So, um, yeah, I mean the first ballot Hall of Famer is Myles Garrett. Please trade him for some first round draft picks. Like, man, maybe that's why he was fired, is because he never traded Myles Garrett. Maybe that's why Kevin Stefanski was fired. But man,
Hmm.
get rid of him. Put him on a Super Bowl contender, please. Get
Hmm.
him, get him a ring, man. Come on, put him.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Bring him to Kansas City. Bring him to Buffalo. I mean, who knows? Dude, our team is in the playoffs if Myles Garrett is on the roster.
Yeah,
Just add Myles
Cleveland.
Garrett. Add Myles Garrett to the roster, and Kansas City is in the
Yep.
playoffs right now. That's all. That's all
Yep,
I gotta
Cleveland.
say.
Cleveland will give you the ninth overall pick for Miles Garrett.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, hands
Oh
down.
yeah, I would give up the ninth overall pick for Myles Garrett. Yeah,
I
no,
would too. I would
that
too.
is an
I
easy
would.
one.
Yeah.
And that's
uh,
one of the many reasons why football is more
more
than a game.
than a game.
I'm Brock Jameson, and this is my co-host Nick Poland. Tune in next week as we break down the college football playoff semifinals and we preview the national championship. We're going to have less to talk about in college football because, I mean, there's not as much controversy with the quarterfinals and how the scheduling is. So we'll have more time to break down the wild card weekend, and we'll probably talk about all six of those games because there's only four divisional. And like I said, we'll spend less time in college, so we'll have more time to talk about the wild card round, and we'll preview the divisional matchups. I want to wish you a happy viewing as you cheer on your teams Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday if you've got any teams left. Peace out.